Father left the house forgetting to turn off the gas, while his two sons were still asleep inside. As the gas filled the house, the two boys were eventually woken up by the fumes. At this point, the older brother realized the gas in the kitchen was still on. He quickly used the last bit of his strength to drag his younger brother into a room and closed the door. The older brother then started crawling toward the kitchen to turn off the gas. However, by this time, he was severely poisoned and had no strength left to turn it off. The older brother collapsed on the ground due to the poisoning. It's unclear how much time passed before their parents came home and found them. They immediately rushed their two sons to the hospital for emergency treatment. The doctor told the parents that although both sons' lives were saved, the older brother suffered severe brain damage due to oxygen deprivation. The doctor said the older brother might end up mentally impaired. Hearing this, the mother completely broke down. She blamed her husband, saying his carelessness had caused this outcome. To her surprise, the husband not only didn't admit his fault, but he also reminded his wife not to tell anyone that their eldest son had become mentally impaired. The husband was worried that having a foolish son would affect his chances of getting a promotion. Seeing her husband's selfishness and lack of compassion, the wife soon left him a letter and took their eldest son away. She left their younger son for her husband to raise. In the letter, the wife wrote that she didn't want to hinder her husband's promotion, so she was leaving with their eldest son. She asked him to never see them again and urged him to take good care of their younger son. 20 years later, the woman had raised her mentally impaired eldest son on her own and even found him a fiancé. The son, despite his condition, would deliver lunch to his fiancé every day. However, one day, the fool happened to encounter his father, who had come looking for him. By now, the man had become the richest person in the country and had been searching for his wife and eldest son for 20 years without any success. Suddenly, the driver noticed a fool ahead who looked exactly like the chairman's eldest son when he was young. The chairman immediately had the driver stop the car and excitedly ran to the fool, hugging him and calling him son. But the fool had been told by his mother since childhood that his father was dead, so he did not recognize the chairman as his father. The assistant then reported to the chairman that while investigating the son's background, they discovered the son had a fiancée working at one of their subsidiary companies. However, it seemed the fiancé's family looked down on the son because of his condition. The chairman was furious when he heard this and immediately ordered the assistant to inform everyone in the company that this fiancée was his future daughter-in-law. The subsidiary's manager received the message and came to congratulate the fiancée, saying she would become the chairman's daughter-in-law. The fiancée was overjoyed, thinking that the chairman's son was the CEO of the company, and she started dreaming of marrying into the wealthy family and becoming the CEO's wife. Meanwhile, the CEO learned that his father had found the long-lost older brother and that his brother's fiancée was working at the subsidiary. The CEO quickly went to find his sister-in-law to take her to see his older brother, even preparing an expensive gift for her. Just as he was about to call her sister-in-law, the fool arrived to deliver lunch to his fiancée. Hearing the fool call his fiancée little wife, the CEO suspected that this fool might be his older brother. The fiancée, wanting to marry the CEO, refused to acknowledge the fool as her husband and lied, claiming he was just a neighbor who harassed her by delivering food every day. She also claimed that he often followed her around. The CEO was furious when he heard this. At that moment, the fool rushed in, calling her little wife. The fiancée quickly hid behind the CEO, pleading for protection.